Four main impact areas that can affect your business and can make it much more difficult to grow if you don't monitor them. Because there is a saying, what gets measured gets managed, and you need to be measuring more than just the sales in your business. Now, I believe that there's actually one area of your business that is more important than any other, and that is marketing. Because marketing is the lifeblood of the business. Marketing is what brings people into your business, into your shop, understanding who you are. Well, let's just cover off these four main impact areas. So number one, you've got marketing. Number two, you've got sales. Number three, you've got administration. And number four, you've got finances. Now, nobody tells you this stuff when you first go self-employed or when you're first starting out. And even when you start to grow as a business owner, you might be having success at the moment, but if you're not monitoring these four key areas consistently, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, quarter, yearly, then how can you anticipate where you're going to be going and what is having the most impact? Because equally, you need to make sure that you've got the right managers in the right place as your business grows, taking care of these four key areas. Now, you could also focus these on being your first 3 or 4 hires in your business. The first 3 or 4 people that you take on or you recruit. But when you're starting out, you need to wear all 4 hats. So marketing is the most important impact area, because without it, how on earth do you get customers into your business? How do you manage to, it's all well and good. You could be the best salesman in the world, but if you've got nobody to sell to, then how on earth are you going to actually have a business? So marketing is the lifeblood, lead generation, brand awareness, marketing, direct response, attraction-based marketing, where you put messages out into the marketplace and your clients come to find you. And marketing's changed massively. When I joined the mortgage industry, I was knocking on doors. I was cold calling 100 people to get one good quality sale. We were buying data. We were doing surveys where people would enter in their details to win a prize, and effectively, have you got life insurance? Yes. Would you like it reviewed? And it was a yes or a no. And all those yeses came through into the business. It was hard graft. It was very, very difficult in order to make that work and to make that grow. So marketing is your lifeblood of the business. And the beauty is today, in a world where social media is available and you can use it organically, you can use it completely free for a very, very long period of time. You can provide value and your clients will come to find you, providing you are consistent and you do it for a long period of time. The difficulty is everybody thinks there's a secret formula to marketing, but actually there isn't. It's just having a minimum standard of performance and sticking to it. Because more often than not, people dip in, dip out. They do a week's worth of social media posting or a week's worth of video and they think their world's going to be transformed and changed. But it's not. Because behind the scenes, you're building know, like and trust. And when you're not seen consistently, there is no trust. So it's playing the long game. Social media is all about the long game, but it's completely free. Anybody can do it, and anybody can drive marketing into their business by using social media. There comes a point when you exhaust your organic following. They are the people who just follow you naturally. And you might want to start investing in some paid advertising, whether that be with Google, LinkedIn, YouTube, or any of the other, search engines. Bing is actually really, really good as a search engine. And it's cheaper more often than not than using Google pay-per-click. So you might as well start using all the free organic ones that don't cost you anything. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, if they're the people of the future. If you like writing blogs, then you can do LinkedIn articles, or you can put them on Medium or blogging websites. You can do all of this stuff completely free. And providing you're consistent at it and you make it work, you can have people come into your business and you can attract them. And then you need to start monitoring the metrics, because the impact areas is all about knowing what is actually having an impact on your audience, helping your audience to grow. What's giving you commercial gain? Are you posting in Facebook groups and is that giving you a bigger following? How many leads are you getting on a weekly basis? How many people are joining your database week in, week out? Have you got a lead magnet which is effectively something that people can download in order to be able to just take that first step with you. I.e., they're buying from you, but they're providing a name, number, and email address rather than actually spending pounds with you first. So have you got something like that that gets people onto your email list? Because people turn around and say that email is dead. But I can tell you now, email is not dead. The companies that are succeeding are knowing that they're growing their list, and as much as they're sending out emails consistently, annoyingly, all the time, 4 people might be added and they might lose 1. The bigger the list, generally the bigger the business. So are you doing enough around marketing? If you think of it from that funnel perspective, the top end of the funnel should be your marketing. Because the more marketing you do, the more you're going to drive sales into your business. And you need to understand your metrics around how many leads you're getting, where they're coming from, what is the best source. You want to track your following on all the social media channels and see which posts are doing the best. Behind the scenes, within most of the social media platforms, they tell you which posts your audience want. Because one of the biggest mistakes in marketing is doing what you think your audience wants to see, when in actual fact, you need to be doing what your audience wants to see. And the biggest thing you can do in marketing is to put yourself in the shoes of your customer so that you can produce content for them, you can provide them with the best level of service, and you can ultimately make it happen. So number 1 is all about marketing. It's the biggest key area, getting people into your shop, getting people onto your database, getting people to come and find you and to work with you, to build that know, like, and trust, getting them to take that initial step, then having a lower viable product, whether that be a cheap consultation call or an event that you're going to hold, something along those lines that gets them to take that first step for a little bit of money. And then you're going to have your core offer where you're going to offer them something and you're going to get that first major sale. And then you're going to have something else that you can upsell them, which profit maximizer, product for clients. There's various different things you can call that. So once you understand your marketing and your marketing metrics and how you're attracting customers into your business, you can then start to review your next impact area, which is all about your sales. Once you're getting these customers into your business, it's important to understand the metrics and where in your sales process you are potentially losing your business. Is the process slick from when the client lands on your database or speaks to your initial salesperson through to the end of the process? Where in that process are you losing them? How are your salespeople competing against each other and comparing against each other? What is ultimately happening within the business? And you need to have a system or a process or a way of monitoring and tracking that. Within our mortgage brokerage, there's metrics that we track. So it's ultimately looking at when the lead comes into the business, we call it a strategy call. So from leads, how many strategy calls are we doing on a weekly basis? i.e., how many appointments are we having? Then we monitor how many fact finds we're doing, because once the fact find is all around the client's actually taken the time to return the documentation to my team, enabling us to go to the next stage of getting to quotation. So in your world, that might be you're doing a strategy call, you're having that initial conversation. How many of them are actually going to quote stage, presentation stage? And then how many of them are going from the presentation stage through to the application? In our world, from fact find through to application and actually becoming a sale. If you're monitoring those metrics through your sales process, you're going to know where you're potentially losing your business and where you need to add some extra training or do some extra work to make it work for your audience. If this is making sense, then put a comment below and let me know. But you need to be following these metrics throughout your business to give you the opportunity to be able to grow and to be able to scale. Because when you understand your marketing metrics of how many leads, how many strategy calls or appointments, how many fact finds or quotes and presentations lead to how many appointments, how many deals, then you can start to run your metrics, because you can know how much you're going to spend at the top of the funnel, and you're going to actually then know if you spend X, you're going to get X number of leads, and it brings down to how many sales you're going to do on a weekly basis. So sales is massively important. It can identify where the training is. You need to be looking at your numbers in and around sale, understanding your average value of a sale, i.e. if you do 10 leads and you sell to 2 of those, what's the cost of that? But also you need to understand your lifetime client value. For example, if that client goes on to repeat buy from you in the future, that changes the marketing metric that you can ultimately start to track, because actually the value of a sale might be $2,000, but over the 3 years, the lifetime value of a client might be $10,000, which enables you to spend more at the top of the funnel to get a lead into your business. Abundance mindset over scarcity mindset. Now, once you've got your sales, often as business owners, they're the two main things that I think most business owners should focus on. Marketing, sales, understanding customers, getting them into the business, selling, and they should be the last things that you get rid of when you're looking to scale and grow. So the next key thing you want to be looking at is your administration, the lower value tasks, the things that take your time up, that waste your time, that anybody can do. That could be, in our world, sitting on the phone to a mortgage lender. That could be chasing a client for documentation. That could be doing customer survey calls after it's been completed. That could be chasing solicitors or doctors' surgeries or insurers. There's a mountain of stuff that could be done. It could equally be answering the phone to book your strategy calls and to take the initial consultation with your client. So no matter what industry you are in, having a PA or someone to help you with your administration is not a cost to your business. It's an investment, because the time that you save doing those lower value tasks, you can leverage somebody else who's probably better at them than you. If you've started your business, generally you're a salesperson. Salespeople are notoriously not good at administration, and you could be wasting your time on trying to do your admin. So having somebody else who's an expert at that, who's got OCD for it, who enjoys it, who likes it, is what you really need within your business. Somebody to answer your phone, book your diaries, book your appointments, open your post, manage your email inbox potentially. Having somebody like that in your business can save you so much time and can give you back your life, but equally give you more time to spend on sales and marketing. The average individual as a self-employed person earns £60,000 to £80,000, probably something to do with the VAT threshold in most businesses. But as soon as you add in an administrator, that money jumps from 60 to 80,000 to 200,000, if not 250,000. So for the cost of £20,000 a year, you can get something between 2.5 to 5 times the return by taking on an administrator or PA as early as you possibly can in your business. You just need to spend the time wisely with the time that they're saving you. And then the last impact area that you need to be monitoring is finances. Now, I spent ages doing my own finances when I started out in business. I loved an Excel spreadsheet. I would download the CSV file from the bank, Barclays, Lloyds. I think I started with Lloyds and then I went to Barclays, and I would download that Excel spreadsheet, CSV, once a week, and I would update the one that I would have, and I would go through and I would tick off all the expenses, and I'd have reams of files, and I've still got some of them now going back to 2006 in the office, of just paperwork from all the receipts that I collated, all the commission statements that I ticked off, and I would go through doing all of that. And it was just the biggest waste of time. Much like the administrator and the PA, I was doing the job on behalf of my accountant, because your accountant is only there in order to be able to manage your taxes and get you the most tax efficient business. Whereas actually the best thing, two things that I did that have been had such a big impact, and possibly more important than getting your administrator, is getting a bookkeeper and using Xero. So there's Xero, there's QuickBooks, there's other online apps and websites that you can do. But ultimately you link your bank to that website and it starts to track everything. It's got an app on my phone, and every time I spend something on the company, I take a picture of the receipt and I upload it into Xero, and it's there to be reconciled. No paper, love that, saving trees, saving the planet. But equally, no paper anywhere in my office because it's all online. I can then, which I couldn't do when I had Excel spreadsheets, I can run monthly profit and losses. I can run quarterly profit and losses. I can look at everything every month. As I do, I sit down and I go through every single individual category of spending to look at that, to ensure that the finances are in order. And then now I've got a bookkeeper. So actually, I don't even do the reconciling anymore. I just go in and look at the numbers. The only thing that I do is I raise the invoices once when the mortgage advisors put the fees into my diary. I raise the invoices because we have two systems. We have a customer CRM system and we have our invoicing system. But that is something that I'm going to leverage in the very not too distant future. That's not right. In the not too distant future. So having a bookkeeper and someone to actually just reconcile everything for you, get your accounts prepared, run your payroll. That makes my accountant bill cheaper because all the accountant is then doing is looking at the tax savings that I can make, but it saves me huge amounts of time and actually making sure that everything is right. And when I go through everything monthly, I do have a spreadsheet that I put a rough cost of every category. So it might be advertising and marketing, commissions, rent, rates, stationery, telephone, mobile. And there's all these different, say there's 20 different categories within Xero. I have an Excel spreadsheet and I keep a run of that in terms of the average. What I then do is use Excel to be able to make predictions based on how the marketing is going, how the sales is going, and then in turn that gives me an idea as to actually how the model works and how the model of the business functions. So I know that if I spend X on marketing, and I spend about 15% of my expenses on marketing, I can then work out how many leads and how many strategy calls, how many fact finds that's going to drive into the business. Using the Excel spreadsheet, I know what income that's going to generate through Sally and Andrew into the business. I can then make predictions and look at the sales numbers over the last 12 weeks. Or actually, I've done this for around about 2 years now. But I've had Sally and Andrew, so looking at the track record of how their business has grown has enabled Sally to set her own targets. She's going big. Looking at Andrew's, looking at how Andrew's are, but now I've got a model that works. I can actually run it and say, right, if I take another advisor on here and I help them do A, B, and C, then that's going to bring in X, Y, and Z, which is going to give them a better lifestyle. It's going to enable us to grow, and it's going to help us to develop the business over the course of next year. But I couldn't do that without monitoring the 4 main impact areas, which is marketing, sales, admin, and finances. Everybody needs to be monitoring those areas because I think I said earlier, what gets measured gets managed. And that is how you build a model for success. That is how you build a business for growth. And that is how you make sure that you're monitoring those areas on a consistent weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual basis using Xero, using your CRM system, using your email database, using your Excel spreadsheet. Yes, that is 4 different systems, but I don't run the reports. I get the metrics. Some of them I do run actually, but I generally would run the ones that I run. I then get other ones given to me. I then collate the main sheet and I make the predictions for the business going forward as the business owner. And I can set the targets and I can set the goals and I can help the team and I can monitor absolutely everything. And that's what you need to be doing to have success with your business over the course of the next 12 months, 3 years and 5 years, whatever it might well be. So I hope that's been useful for you. Any questions, then you can put them in the comments below. Give me a like or a share. I would really appreciate a share on this video if you know any other people who this could benefit.